Hello. Welcome along to episode 94 of Adventures in Pop. My name is Simon Jacobs. You are incredibly welcome. And you're looking well, despite the fact it's still January. So good on you. We're going to talk today a little bit about how to finish a song. I mean, or when you know that it's finished. How do you know it's finished? Because there's nobody to tell you that it's finished, is there? I mean, you just have to kind of work it out. So that's the question today. When do you draw a line under a piece of creative work and decide that it's done? What I'm also going to do today is, in a very unfinished way, is share a bit of a brand new song with you as part of my kind of, at home with a new piano series, just because it's fun. But it's interesting. I've been preparing a number of my tracks to send off to this company Taxi that I've talked about before, who basically are responsible for helping singer-songwriters around the world get their music in front of big advertising companies, TV and filmmakers, and big kind of publishing libraries, with a view to having your music synced and used in various films, adverts, TV shows, etc. And I think a good living can be made. I have so far been, let's be quite frank about this and upfront, so far totally unsuccessful in getting anything bought or taken or chosen by Taxi to be put forward in front of these people. So there's a little way to go there. But the interesting thing is, in order to send them some stuff, obviously what I do is I go back and I have a look and see what there is that might be appropriate to send at any various time for any of the kind of listings that they put out. And then what I tend to find is that I've taken a lot of songs that that are new songs that I'm kind of serious about and thinking that they're okay. They're going to feature at some point on an album. They'll be released on Spotify. There'll be singles of the future. And I take a look at them and I realise that I'm quite good at taking these songs up to a certain level where I've basically got the whole thing down. I'm pretty comfortable with the arrangement and most of the production's there, but it's not quite finished. I certainly haven't mastered it. In many cases, I haven't kind of really finished the kind of final mix. And then it leaves you with that thing where you go back into it and have a look and see, make sure that as you're about to mix it, that all the instrumentation is kind of accurate, that there aren't any kind of howling false notes, or there are no blips in the audio, that you were basically singing in tune and the harmonies are kind of okay. And what I tend to find is the more I dig, the more I kind of find things that are not right. Sometimes it reminds me that sometimes these songs get written in a bit of a hurry. It's like the idea comes in a bit of a rush and you get it all down and you're quite excited about it, and then you get it to a point, as I say, and leave it and think, well, okay, well that's good enough. But then when you come back to them, there's a remarkable amount still to do. So you find yourself going back and unpicking things. And the danger of that is you can unpick. I've just been doing this with the song. This is why it's kind of uppermost in my mind. You can unpick it to pieces. I mean, you can unpick it so that there's literally nothing left. And you have to rebuild it. You have to start again. Almost every line of instrumentation, all of the vocals, you're basically doing it again. Now, in a way, you're doing it again now with the knowledge of what the song should sound like. When you do it the first time, you're doing it a bit blind. You're doing it without quite knowing where you're going, and then you live with the song for a while. So I think, look, there's validity in working in this way, but I think it does raise the question about when is something really finished? When is it good enough? And good enough always sounds like a little bit of a half-hearted compliment or a kind of, you're satisfied with just about okay, and it shouldn't be like that. But when is it really good enough? When do you draw a line? When do you say, right, we're done, we're sorted, that is as good as it's ever going to get? That's a tricky one, isn't it? Because you can always make it better, but you could spend the rest of your life making it better, and I don't think you've got the rest of your life to spend just on one song. So I'm quite good at drawing a line and moving on. Others would probably spend more time. And when I go back to it, I'm often struck by how much more actually there is to do. And if you're not careful, you can end up just undoing everything and having to start all over again. So it takes a lot of time to get those things ready. And I think it does take you into the whole big subject about, trying not to be a perfectionist, because I think that's problematic. Trying to get stuff done, trying to be kind of efficient about finishing things, but at the same time recognizing that sometimes the creative process means, you just get things down in a hurry, and in order not to forget stuff, or in order to not lose the momentum of that thing you're creating, you allow mistakes and misnotes and bits that don't quite sound right and stuff that's a bit too loud and something that's a bit screechy, because it's in the wider good of getting that song down on tape, so to speak. So look, I mention this because I'm sure lots of singer-songwriters kind of struggle with the same thing. When is it done? When is it ready to mix and master for the last time? When are you going to say this is ready to release? I think it's quite a tricky conundrum for many, many recording singer-songwriters. So I wish everybody good luck with that. And if you've got any comments, you are more than welcome to leave them in the comments section. Now, what I want to leave you with is a pretty much new song from late last year. I'm sure it'll find its way onto an album at some point, and it's called A Little Light. And I've just got a little clip, or a couple of clips of this as I'm sitting at the piano, playing a kind of piano version alongside a bit of the main track, which you can see when you look at the film. There's me at the piano, there's my laptop on the piano. And interestingly, the thing that I'm looking at when I'm looking at the laptop is not the notes going by, because all you can see are lines and coloured lines of my kind of program on Logic. What I'm looking at are the words, and it just reminds me of this one other point actually, which is over the years, I guess I can remember hundreds and hundreds of songs that I've written or co-written, as part of Gold or Foxes or with Rothman Jacobs. And interestingly, I never ever have written down any notes. And sometimes when I come back to a song, I have to remind myself what are the chords, what are the notes, and I can just, I can work it out, and then it'll all come back to me, and I can remember why sometimes I put this chord here and this chord here. But actually, it's the words that I need to see, because the words, they would just be gone from my mind. But I've never ever, if I went back and found a book of old songs that have been written, what you'll find in the book of old songs are just loads and loads of words. There's no note at all about what is the music, what is the key, what are the chords, nothing. That's quite odd, isn't it? So I suppose, what does that say? I can remember the music, but I can't remember the words. Maybe that's just normal, but who knows? You tell me. So look, that's it. That's today's little wild ranting, and I am going to leave you with a little live version, or a live kind of snippet of a brand new song called, as I say, called A Little Light. Quite an angry little song, and I cannot possibly tell you, who inspired this little gorgeous track of unloveliness. I'm going to leave you with that. I'll be back at the end of this week with the release of my new single, and it's going to be called For the Kids. That's quite an interesting one. I've got to make a video between now and Friday, and you'll be the first to see it at the end of this week. So hang in there. I'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Do like and subscribe if you are in the mood to do that. It's free and it's very lovely of you. I always appreciate it. Take good care. I'll see you at the end of the week. Bye-bye.
Okay.